Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Starcastic Remarks. Sorry, I had to be a little silly there. This is the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Go and use that promo code THPN. Next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook. If you like what you hear today, please consider leaving us a 5-star review anywhere you listen to your podcast. Click like and subscribe here on YouTube, and also follow us on social media. James, how are you doing this fine evening as the Stars defeat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-2?
Pretty great, honestly. It was back and forth the whole game, but the Stars never trailed, so that's always good. And that tends to skew shots a little, and we saw that tonight a little bit. But the Stars did good at weathering it, and Otter did great at stopping the last one when he really needed to. That's really where I look at the game for this one. It's that huge glove save after we scored our third one. But they weather the storm all the way down and just are able to pull it out.
So lots of things to talk about in this game tonight, James. You could go all sorts of different directions. And the fact that Chris and I talked about this on Sunday night, and the fact that this is probably the toughest week that we will see from Dallas for their season. We have Carolina tonight. We got Nashville coming up, who is also a playoff team. And then we got a crazy, nasty back-to-back coming up this weekend. But for you, what was like the biggest thing that you loved to see from this team tonight? Because the way that kind of Razor put it, and it was perfect, it was a galaxy of stars that won the game tonight. It wasn't just one person.
Yeah, that's really what it was mostly. But where I feel like that was most impactful was with the block shots and the hitting tonight too, honestly. I mean, it's a very hard forward-checking Carolina team, and we didn't look like we were getting pushed around like we normally would be against these forechecking teams.
What I really like about this game, and I'll steal Joe Mama's comment over here, this was a quality win. This was one of the wins that I've been kind of talking about this week and this whole season, and the fact that, yeah, we're kind of taking care of business against the teams that we should beat. Not the way that I would want them to, but they still took care of business. But tonight, against a really good team who was playing really well, the Dallas Stars played absolutely well as well and won the game. So that think that's my favorite part of this game, is just the quality win. We've had a couple of quality wins lately, not many that I can think of off the top of my head, but Detroit for sure, that was a quality win against a really good team that's doing well right now. The games against Winnipeg earlier in the season, when Winnipeg was doing a lot better. They're obviously not doing all that great right now. But what I really want to start with is Jake Ottinger, who has, I don't want to say he's done a complete 180 because he wasn't bad, but he has been absolutely fantastic since coming back from the All-Star break. It's almost like he was refreshed by the All-Star break. He was relaxed. He was able to hang out with some of the best players in the NHL, maybe get some pointers on how to beat them in the regular season. And man, did he do it. And none better than that save that he had on Michael Bunting.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest save of the year from him there. And that makes six straight for him. He's won 6 straight games. That's a little insane. And really, most of those, especially the last 3, he has been like the main reason for the Stars being able to pull out the win. It is not a sit back and your team kind of is just destroying the other team, so you don't have to do much. It wasn't that at all, especially tonight. I mean, tonight the team helps him, and he still has to make like 30-something saves.
Well, and just the thing that's really nice about tonight's game compared to, like, say, the Buffalo game where we won 2-1 and it was all Ottinger. It was all Ottinger that game. That was ridiculous from him. Was the fact that he was just a contributor to the overall game. He was one star in a galaxy full of stars who won the game tonight. And that was so refreshing to see. And the man, that save when he, oh my goodness, that's arguably his best save of the season. And I would say maybe even one of the best saves that I think I've seen from any NHL goalie this season. And I've watched a lot of hockey this season, more than normal. So hopefully that continues for Jake Ottinger. I would ride him, man. I mean, let him play a couple of games. Maybe if he's playing as well going into these next couple of games, maybe play him both games on the back-to-back. That ride the hot hand. So that's something that would have been crazy that I would have said, a couple months ago, considering how he was playing. But man, he was absolutely awesome tonight. Something else I wanted to get into. Well, actually, let me get a couple of comments from Mato over here. He's got his confidence back, or his swagger. Yes, pick your word, whatever it is. Both are the same. James, what's the difference? Is it really just he just needed to step away, just like everybody else did, and that's kind of what got him his game back?
I'm honestly not sure. It's been after the injury. It took him a couple of games, and he's come back, and he's been like the Otter that we expect from him all the time. And honestly, this is where he plays his best. He plays his best when the games are important. We talked about that last year all the time, especially in that Vegas game in the regular season towards the end of the year. I mean, that was a huge game for us, and Otter just stole that one. He just comes through when he knows the games mean more. They obviously mean more to him, whether he thinks that consciously or not. It is always late in the season where we seem to see the best Otter.
Another guy that had a really excellent game tonight and just, man, for some reason, just could not hit the net to save his life. Ty Dellandrea. He gets the call up onto the third line with the injury to Evgeny Dodonov, which really sucks because Dodonov was playing probably some of his best hockey of the regular season so far. And he really made the most of it. And unfortunately, fortunately, however you look at this is one of the reasons why he doesn't play on the third line and he's just a fourth liner. He just was not able to finish any of his big opportunities here tonight. I mean, how many chances did he have tonight, James?
6.
Like 5 or 6?
6, including the empty netter. 6, including the empty netter with him and the goaltender, and that was it. I mean, I was screaming in the third period, begging him to put one in the back of the net because it just kept happening. I mean, he's the only person who really got a great chance, other than there was one time after he had a chance that they passed it to Johnston in the slot. Other than that, he had every chance for that line, and that's how it always has been with that line. That line, when those three are together, they always get great chances, absolutely great chances, and they all go to Delhi, every single one of them. And he cannot shoot to save his life, man. It's so frustrating. It's so annoying. It shouldn't be too hard to score goals with chances that he was getting.
I'll come back to that in a second, Ardell. I see your comments over there. But I want to talk about that line in general tonight because one of the things I love to see from this team, I guess there's 2 points to this, I guess I could say. That third line was excellent tonight. I really thought they played really well tonight. They were getting a lot of chances. And a game like this is right in Jamie Benn's wheelhouse. This is the team that he played. They're a very physical team. They go after you on the forecheck heavy, hard, and it's super aggressive, even on the penalty kill from the Canes. And as a team overall, I thought they handled it okay. Now, they did have to make some adjustments with the D pairings. They mentioned it in the third period. You saw Harley and Miro kind of up against that top line of Aho for a little while. And I'll go ahead and give them props here. Esa Lindell and Yanni Hakanpää played excellent tonight. And this is the perfect game for those two guys like that. A very hard-hitting, very physical. There was still some speed there too, but not as much as you could say from the Stars' perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And really, Hakanpää had 2 shifts in particular where he just hit every single person he saw. That someone looked at him weird and they were hit and they were on the ice. It's nice when you can actually catch up to them and lay hits like he was tonight. And it showed how he can be a really strong defenseman in this league and why he has been for us for a while now. because you don't have to defend anyone if they're on their butts on the ice.
Okay, so going back to Delandria a little bit, it's kind of not fair a little bit to ask this question, but you kind of have to with the injury to of getting Dodonov. He doesn't take care of business tonight with the scoring chances. Ardell says, boot him. And who in favor? Stankoven. Do we see a call up of either Logan Stankoven or Maverick Bork if for some reason Ty Dellandrea doesn't really work there on that third line?
I think the team would have to stop winning games for that to happen. It's really, you're going to see Stankoven and Bork in the AHL until maybe the end of the season. Like, this is just how it works. Like, Harley was doing all really good last year down in the AHL as well, and he did not see NHL ice time until 6 games left when we thought we might need him for the playoffs. And granted, we played him in the whole entire playoffs, and he played great. So you see that. I don't think we're going to see those two unless it is absolutely necessary. I know everyone wants to see them.
I know
everyone does. I want to see them.
I want to see it.
It just with how the Stars organization has dealt with developing players, the likelihood that you will see him, even though the Dodonov is hurt, it's very low.
I tend to agree with you. I wish that wasn't the case, but I mean, it kind of has to be. Those two guys are just lighting up the AHL like it's nothing. I still think they're 1 and 2 in scoring. They're at the very. They still are. Okay. I was about to say they're at the very least top 5. Both of them. They are the Connor McDavid and the Leon Draisaitl of the AHL this season. So
yeah, they both average well over a point per game.
Okay, moving on to a couple more topics that I'm seeing over here in the comment section. Let's talk about Duchesne a little bit. Duchesne said the money is not as important to him as fit and legacy, and he really loves the fit here. And if he's able to work out a deal, that's something he will want to pursue. I'm assuming that is in reference to an interview that he did recently. I'm forgetting who he did it with.
Cervelli.
There you go. Thank you.
Who he did it with.
I think his Daily Face-Off.
Yeah, but so, if we, again, we talk about this all the time. If we can sign him and it's not like a ridiculous amount, that's what we want. But I still think the likelihood is low. Yes, he's getting paid from Nashville. Yes, he wants to stay in the South, but there are other teams in the South who will probably pay him.
I really think we have a chance of keeping him. I think we have a chance. There is a chance. I just don't.
It's all up to him is the problem. Like we can say all we want on here and talk about it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
It does not matter if he has a different point of view. I mean, I don't see a point in talking about it because it's all up to him. It's what he wants. If he wants more money, he's going to go get it. If he wants to stay here, that's what he's going to do. I mean, it's one way or the other.
And the thing is there are so many different variables with him when it comes. I mean, that you have to include Stankoven in this conversation, and Bork and Pavelski, and these guys that are also on expiring contracts. Like, I mean, could we see something next year where Pavelski is either retired because he doesn't get an NHL contract, or he's with another team? I mean, that is I don't even want to think about it. I want him on this team, and it's crazy to think that he might not be on this team. But you've got two guys who are just, I mean, there's nothing else for them to do in the AHL right now. They've proven their worth and their ability to play hockey. Now, we haven't seen them up here yet. Go ahead.
There's like 10. So in the top 10 scorers in the AHL, I think 6 or 7 of them are not playing in the AHL right now. So a lot of players who score as many points as they do in the AHL are being played in the NHL pretty regularly now. It's how it works. The Stars obviously don't operate that way and never have really, but it is interesting, and they're going to be very good players, and they've been the best in the AHL, and that translates really, really well into the NHL.
Okay, a couple more items here tonight. That couple more comments I want to talk about. Broken Michael Hall. I think it's just Broke though. What was Suter doing when Otter made a save and the puck was loose? Arguing with the ref. Now this was really interesting because I noticed this. And she's obviously referring to the Bunting call that Ardell is kind of mentioning here. Michael Bunting, who apparently scored the third goal for the Canes, but
No,
it
these are
was it was obvious.
instances, Ryan. Separate instances.
Oh, it was okay.
The Suter this was on Otter's like amazing save. Okay, Suter. I think Suter thought the puck was in the back of the net. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was fully expecting that in the back of the net, and he was arguing that there should have been goaltender interference, which maybe you could have called it, but it didn't matter because Otter stopped it anyway. So maybe lack of confidence in your goaltender save that one there is all I could think. But yeah, you keep playing, please.
One of the interesting things I also thought about and that I saw from Suter tonight was after they scored that third goal, and sorry, this is what I was thinking about, was when that did go in, Suter was super calm. And he was just sitting there talking to the ref. And it literally looked like that the ref was asking him, hey, did the puck get pushed in? Did he shove Otter into the net? And I think someone with that kind of stature who has had that many games that he's played, Ryan Suter has, I think he's got some street cred with the refs. I mean, he has to. And it definitely looked like on that play, at least, that, I mean, it was going to go to review either way. But seriously, that's kind of cool, and one of the reasons why you might keep Ryan Suter around.
The only reason why that play is goaltender interference, by the way, is because like if you poke the puck there and it goes under his pad and into the net, and his pad doesn't move or moves a little bit, but not all the way across, it's probably a goal. But the fact that they had an angle where you could see Otter's pad was on the puck the entire way back and into the net, can't do that. That's all allowed.
There were some Canes fans I saw just on social media that were complaining about it, and I was like
they reviewed it.
Totally, completely non-biased. Like, that was so obvious. I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious. Otter just kind of looked at it and was just like, really?
That one's really weird because those, again, they can be called goals if the puck comes loose separate from the pad. But the fact that the pad was in front of the puck the whole time, it's clear as day. You're muted again, Ryan.
Sorry. One thing I wanted to mention before we get any further, and then I'll ask you, James, if there's anything I forgot that you wanted to add. That line has kind of picked it back up again. They kind of went through a little bit of a I don't want to say a down phase, but just where they weren't as dominant.
Well, Sagan definitely did.
Yes. Okay, that's true.
He went 7 games without scoring.
Yeah. But those three guys have just kind of picked it back up exactly where they were. And hats off, because he gets a lot of slack from a lot of people right now. But Nils Lundqvist, that play in the offensive zone, perfect patience, great pass to Marchment to allow Marchment to score that goal. What'd you see from that line tonight, or Nils Lundqvist in that particular case?
Yeah, that line looked great. They looked great after Sagan finally snapped that drought, and since then they've just been rolling the same as they were before. I mean, it looks like nothing has happened since Marchment finally put like 2 in the back of the net early on in the season. They've just rolled every team they've come into contact with.
Sagan scoring like all of his goals in even strength. I literally think he scored all of his goals even strength. Duchesne has 50 points on the season. Marchment is riding a 7-game point streak. 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points, I think is what I saw on the graphic earlier on the broadcast. But seriously, like, this is, if there's any big surprise, that's the big surprise. And the fact that all 3 of those guys have the amount of chemistry that they do. So it's just I love being able to see those guys play.
And weird stat that they mentioned on the broadcast was that of goals where everyone on the line gets an assist and a goal or a goal, right? So all three players touch the puck to create a goal. They have 18 of those, and that's second in the entire league, only behind the Avalanche's top line, which is a little ridiculous.
That is a little bit crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right, I'll leave the floor open to you, James. Anything that I have not mentioned that needs to be mentioned tonight?
A big thing with the first line getting rolling. I mean, Pavelski kind of was struggling for a little bit there, and then he has that great pass to Hintz that Hintz somehow scores because the goaltender thinks his slap shot wasn't a slap shot, then it was a slap shot. That first goal was really, really weird. To just open
shot.
it. Yeah, and he just opened up the 5-hole for Hintz, which is his favorite spot to go, and it went right through him. I mean, it was like he did it intentionally to let the puck in. But regardless, Hintz gets the goal on that, and then Robo gets what ends up being the game-winning goal off of kind of a broken spit-out play. But he gets the puck and he rushes in and just stares down the goaltender and sinks it. I mean, it's a huge game from our top two lines because the Sagan, Marchment, Duchesne line is huge as well, but it was still bigger from the top line, and we needed them to be when Delhi decided he didn't want to put anything in the back of the net.
What did you see from the defensemen tonight, James? What was your favorite part? Because they seem to pull these games out of nowhere, where all six of them looked great tonight. I really thought all six of them played well. The one exception I would say is Harley on that one goal. That was
Harley was struggling with the forecheck all night. Honestly, there was another one that the Hurricanes should have scored on where they pinched Miro off the puck and Harley just kind of did nothing and it went to the front of the net. The dude backhanded it and it hit the crossbar and bounced up. So he got lucky there again. And the second one's just, that's pretty inexcusable. It's just the way that it went in isn't really his fault. They went to the front of the net, hit Pavelski's stick that had fallen out of his hand, went to the Hurricane stick, who kind of swiped at it. It kind of went forwards, hit the Hurricane skate, and then went into the net. That was their second goal, okay?
Well, he got beat 3 times, though. He made 3 rough defensive plays there within the same 15-second span before that goal kind of bounced around and went in. It pinballed in, literally.
Agreed, but it was still a lucky goal. But yeah, Harley struggled with the forecheck all night long, honestly. He got pinched off on some of them, and he did get it out on some too. But when you're sitting on that top pair, and you're expected to get the puck out and you only get it out like half time, that's not good enough. And I think Ryan froze.
Oh,
are you back now, Ryan?
Did I freeze or did you freeze?
You froze, I think, but it could have been me.
Oh, am I back now?
You're back now, yeah. Kind of.
Okay, well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
You are very delayed. Okay, this is fun. Anyway, if y'all want weird stats on the night, Delhi had 6 shots on the night, and that's a little insane for him. And the first goal is kind of on that third line too. That's the other thing that I didn't really mention. The third line looked great offensively, and they had that one miscommunication at the beginning of the second that looked really, really poor. And it was just miscommunication between Delhi and Johnston. And that's why the dude's so wide open.
West Texas Internet. Sorry, James. Another interesting stat for you. The time on ice for defensemen is a little weird. Not like over the top weird, but just different. Mira Heiskanen, 23:42. Esa Lindell, second with 21:34. Harley with 2033, Hockenpah with 2018, Suter with 1808, and Nils Lundqvist with 1432. So, I mean, more than you
That's
would
a
expect for Nils Lundqvist, but still he played a lot. He's played a good amount of minutes tonight, and it was kind of spread out more. It wasn't Miro playing over 27 minutes like he sometimes does. And then the guys of Hockenpah and Lindell, when they got switched onto that top pairing, which by the way, but to the top line of the Carolina Hurricanes, that was a fantastic move by Pete DeBoer. But that gets them some more extra ice time tonight. So another way you could look at the stats and say that, all 6 defensemen did okay tonight and played pretty well.
Yeah. And it's really nice to see that we can trust Hockenpot and Lindell with more even strength ice time, because they've looked really rough on the penalty kill. And tonight they only had to do it once, and it was we gave up some chances. They made smart plays when it broke down. There were multiple times where it broke down, and it just had to be the otter and the shooter, because if you give the pass across, it's a dunk. And both times that situation popped up, they made the right choice and just made sure that the pass was not getting across. So you want to not be in that situation at all, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes. The Hurricanes don't score on it anyway, so that's great. But yeah, more even ice time overall is going to be better for the team as a whole. And I think more of the reason why you're seeing Lundqvist's ice time down is because it's a hard forechecking team, and he does make those turnovers in his defensive zone quite often.
They did utilize the high flip a lot tonight, which is exactly the way to deal with it against a heavy forechecking team like the Hurricanes. And like, even if it gets to the blue line and the Canes were able to keep it in, it seemed like there was a Stars player there to kind of mop it up and to get it out. So I thought as a team defense overall, that was really impressive to me too. One more interesting stat. Did we talk about hits yet? I don't remember if we talked about hits. Okay. Obviously the not big surprise at all, Yanni Hockenpah, 9 hits tonight. That's huge. Suter with 5 hits tonight. And then also Mason Marchment with 3 hits tonight. So this team found a different way to win tonight. It was a very different way than what they normally do. Normally they finesse their way to the win with multiple goals and stuff like that off the rush. Tonight was a very physical game, and this makes me feel better about the playoffs, because when they do go up against a team like, Minnesota of last year or Seattle, who had very heavy forechecking teams, that allows them to be able to play that game, and they've shown tonight that they can successfully do that.
Yeah, and they didn't score their goals differently, mind you. You said that they didn't score it off the rush, but they did. All their goals came off the rush, every single one of them. But it was playing in their own end, playing more physical when the team was being physical on you and trying multiple times. They were trying to do a cycle, and that's when you saw Hockenpah just go off on them. He just hit like 3 people in a row, and then their cycle stops because they can't get back around into the right position. It was a really great game for Hockenpah. To be fair, it's a perfect matchup for him. Like, if he matches up against the Hurricanes, that is who he wants to play against. That's who he's going to be most effective against. But I mean, to their credit, they did do that, and we probably wouldn't have seen that even like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this has to be the first time that we've out hit a team on the scorecard, because hits were 30-24 for the Stars. That'll probably never happen again for the rest of the season until we play the Hurricanes again in like a week and a half. But like, it is nice to see them be more physical.
I think I know who your biggest winner is tonight, James, but do you have a biggest winner, biggest loser?
I'll go biggest loser first, because I want to do biggest loser first. So I'll go with Ty Dellandrea for my biggest loser. You have to sink one of those 6. He had 5 with the goaltender, and then I'm counting the 6th one as the one that he had when the net was open and he skated into the offensive zone. You have to score it.
Fair. I'll do my biggest winner. I'll give it to Yanni Hakanpää. I mean, this was one of his best games that we've seen him play, and hopefully this is a reminder to him that he doesn't just have to play this way against teams who have this similar style. He can do this against any teams. Now he's got to be careful that he doesn't get put out of position, obviously, because he's not a quick guy. He's not like a finesse guy. He's very much a big body and able to kind of bully guys around. But he can do that against other teams. We just haven't seen him do it that much. And like one of the few times he does it, great game. It's probably arguably his best game of the season.
Yeah, and he did get put out of position a couple of times. That's where you need your defensemen or your forwards to come back and cover for him, especially when he's basically the only one on the team hitting. Cover for the dude. I mean, he's destroying the people who were being bugs tonight.
For a biggest loser, I'll give it to Dellandrea too. And it's not because he had a bad game. He had an excellent game. He played a great game, had numerous scoring chances. But dude, you can't Matthias Janmark this stuff. You gotta get a chance in. You gotta score. I really have a feeling that with the Donoff out for a while, we're gonna see him go off in one of these games. I mean,
it felt like he should have had 3 tonight, at least.
At least, yeah, exactly. All of his shots seemed like they were chances tonight. So, but he's my biggest loser, not because he is a loser, but just couldn't, get a goal to save his life.
Yeah. And I have a special biggest winner tonight, Ryan.
Okay.
Mr. Patriarchy is going to join us here because Mr. Patriarchy did something today on the disc golf course. He finally threw one in from the tee pad. So
you got your hole in one?
Congrats to Father for his first ace on the course.
230 foot in at Munson, hole 17 from the red tee, and chucked the sucker and called it ahead of time with the disc that I wanted to ace with.
What is that, a photon?
Yep, the photon. So we had a great night. He was in a great mood. I got wings out of it. I'm pretty happy. So
okay, that's a cool thing to end off on. Oh, and since Dad is here, I completely forgot. I wanted to mention somebody that he talked to me about just last week. I wish I remembered their names. Dad's gonna have to help me with their names here in a little while, but he went to a restaurant called Meet You Anywhere up in Trophy Club, and there was just a couple of guys up there who are really big hockey fans who Dad kind of talked to for a while. I really wish I knew their names. Zach is one of them, and then there was another one was I hate when I do that. I can't remember your name. I'm sorry. It's Zach and somebody else. Thank you guys for hopefully giving us a chance on this show. We appreciate y'all, and we do appreciate you talking to our dad, because anytime you can find hockey talk in the South, it's great and it's fun and it doesn't happen very often because everything is about the Cowboys. So
everything, even when they lose,
man, because they're talking about their defensive coordinator right now. Okay, so anyways, James, anything else?
It feels good to finally be even against top 10 teams.
Yeah,
we were one game below even. We are now a flat 500 against the top 10. Which we are in, by the way. We are in sole possession of third place right now with 72 points. 2 points behind Boston, 4 points behind the Canucks.
Vancouver.
So we are right there at the top of the league. Even though we don't beat the top of the league that often, doesn't matter. We're up there. That's us.
I don't want to win the President's Trophy though. And if you don't know, then don't ask. If you know, you know. You don't want to win the President's Trophy. I'm just saying. Of course, I'm joking, because when we won the Stanley Cup, we won the President's Trophy. But that was over 20 years ago. Over 20? Yeah, over 20 years ago now. My gosh, time flies. All right, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And those of you that are listening live, there have been 15 of y'all. Y'all are insane. Go to bed. It's 10:30. There's even more of you that are listening afterwards. We appreciate y'all just as much. Please go and use that promo code THPN for DraftKings Sportsbook. We thank them for being our sponsor. Chris is not feeling good tonight. Thoughts with Chris. Hopefully he gets to feeling a little bit better, and we'll see him on Thursday. Fingers crossed. Please go and check out sarcasticremarks.com. All the latest info is there. It's the quickest way to listen to our episodes. It's the first place that they get uploaded to. And as always, along with James, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever you guys are listening, James, do us a favor and pull a Chris. GG, boys.